Man, my eyes hurt.
Go get your eyes looked at.
I need to. I can't see shit.
What's going on, Hotos?
Sorry, I can't hear you. I'm blind and deaf.
Yeah. I don't doubt it. Me from Metal Podcast. Just, I think we're a little shell shocked right now, if anything.
Did we do? Because I can't remember if we talked about the last wind event we had on this shit 2 years ago. About.
Oh, I'm sure we did.
I'm sure we did. I'm gonna have to go back and.
It doesn't escape our notice too much.
No. We need to just leave the past in the past.
And for those of you that have not lived on the easterly slopes of the and beyond into the plains of the Rockies, basically border to border, Wyoming, Montana, Colorado, Front Range, eastern New Mexico, all of it. It sucks. It sucks where we live because you get occasionally, well, if you're lucky, you don't get it at all, but then you get once in a while, they'll call it a wind event.
Yeah.
And what they mean by that, it's about as, I guess it's about as pleasing as getting yourself circumcised with a fucking sledgehammer, right?
Yeah. and I mean, god damn, dude. I've been a few places where, of course, people always bitch about the weather where they live. That's just something you do.
Everybody does.
And I remember when I lived in Wyoming, at this convenience store that was right nearby, I told the guy where I was from, he's like, yeah, well, the only thing you got to worry about here is the wind. I was like, really? Like, how bad does it get? Like, man, sometimes it can gust up to like 50 miles an hour. Because we're right, Lander's kind of right below a mountain. So if the wind's coming the right direction, yeah, you can it'll pack a punch. And then as soon as he said that, I laughed. I was like, well, man, usually a 50-mile-an-hour day, that's just another day on the fucking high plains, man.
Man, it really is, unfortunately. It is absolutely, because when you try to explain to people how hard the wind blows, like, well, clearly you're exaggerating here. Little hyperbole. We got up to what, 75?
76 wind gusts.
And by the way, a Category 1 hurricane is 74. So
hey, we did it.
Yeah.
I know that's sustained, but I don't give a fuck.
We got a dry land hurricane out here. Well, our sustained winds at one time were almost 60. Yeah. So, I mean, we weren't far off of hurricane conditions out here. And impossible to have a hurricane party because, half of folks lost their power today. So.
Ooh, yours truly included. I was out without power for 5 hours and without water for about 2.
Well, it took down the electricity of one of our pump stations where I'm at.
Yeah, same.
But I still had water though. It wasn't anything to write home about. It took a little bit to fill a saucepan with water, running at max capacity. Like, all right, I'm gonna get this started. I'm gonna go walk over and let the dog out, and I'll come back. And it was just about where I needed it to be about the time I got back. So
flip a chapter in a book or two, and then boom, you got a full saucepan of water.
But it's just ridiculous. Now, thankfully, it did some damage to my roof, but a few shingles here and there.
Yeah, and I noticed on my drive up here, you had like a tree branch snap.
Yeah, it doesn't
kind of
surprise
down
me.
there at the corner there.
Actually, I believe that's probably one that's already been down. So.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
From the last one that we had a couple days ago?
Yeah.
That took down 3 of my trees?
I think I'm pretty sure it snapped that tree within since the first of the year. I don't know when, but yeah, I noticed that myself.
Yeah, man, all the fucking trees around here are dead.
Yeah. Well, we haven't had any rain.
Yeah. I mean, it's like I might have 3 trees left on my property that are alive.
In our local municipality, of which neither of us live in that, but they're constantly going out and cutting trees down. And people just lose their shit about it. Like, well, they're fucking dead. What? That tree, it's not coming back.
No, it is now a nuisance.
Yeah. This is not a part of the country that's conducive to having trees. It's really not, because they require a hell of a lot of water, which we don't have. and otherwise they die. And even if it's not a matter of water, we get bizarre pests that kill trees around here that nobody else in this country is really all that aware of.
Right. Yeah, like the cemetery had that problem, right?
Yeah, they're borers. I forget what they call them. It's like pine borers or something.
A weevil of death.
I don't know, but they do, and they get in and they kill trees. They in short order took out every willow I had out here. One time I had like 5 willows out here, and I don't have a one now because of those little fuckers getting in and killing everything.
Right. I had a very nice glow willow that when it was in fucking full bloom, dude, great shade tree.
Yeah.
Nice to just sit under and sip a beverage and just look at nature. And that thing is now about 3 branches and nothing.
Yeah, I'd had one last really big one on the end of my house, but man, it eventually drought and those borers just killed the shit out of it. So nothing left there. The only thing that does thrive are these invasive fucking Chinese trees that are out here.
China. Yeah, they look cool. They look like veins.
They smell really weird when you
Yeah.
go cutting into them. Like they smell like peanut butter that has gone bad. You know.
Ooh. And for peanut butter, that's a hard thing to do.
Yeah, so it's like this weird sour but yet peanutty kind of scent.
It's its last gift to you.
I don't know. I got to get out there with my chainsaw when the fucking wind's not blowing 70 miles an hour and get some of those little assholes cut out of here. So
Yeah, I had to drag. I don't know what those trees are called that are really narrow but grow really fucking high.
elm, right?
So yeah, something like that. Had 2 of them that, of course, been there my whole life. Fucking they died a while back, and that last little wind event just took them down, and it landed where like the base of the tree was propped up on my pipe fence.
Okay.
So it was very not easy. Because basically what I do is I'd back up my pickup as close as I could to that thing and tie off on it and just drag it.
Sure.
Because that's all I could do. It was either that or hire a professional to do it.
Yeah, that's as much as I bitch about my Jeep all the time. It does have a really convenient hook in the back under the back bumper.
Oh,
just
no shit.
Off to the side. Just throw a loop around that shit and you can pull things all over the place with
God
it.
damn, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. That's one of the few cool things about a Jeep, but yeah.
Yeah.
Other than unless you really like a lot of lights, on the dash.
Oh, yes, I'm a big fan of pretty lights.
Yeah, I'm starting to get to a point now. It's an ABS module that's going out. I'm 90% sure that that's what it is. Problem is, those things are about $600-700 for the unit, and then I don't know if my warranty will cover labor on that. Actually, it may cover the component, not labor. Well, labor is going to be. It shouldn't take very long, but even 1 hour of dealership time is almost $200.
Right.
It'd take an hour for that and then an hour for them to program the unit, and then it's good to go. Well, that means I'm looking at about $400 labor, $600 unit. That's $1,000. I don't just keep $1,000 laying around. I really don't.
No, life would be
not
great.
these hard times.
I mean, life would be pretty tits.
Yeah. So that's going to have to get done at some point. But the other problem is I'm reasonably sure that component's made in Canada, and as we all know, we have a president that does not like other countries right now, especially if they're our allies. If they're our allies, go fuck yourself.
Yeah. No, we're friends with Russia now.
Isn't that the weirdest shit? I did all my growing up assuming that we were at some point going to engage in World War III. It was just a matter of time when it was going to happen. And just acknowledge it like, well, we're going to go to war with Russia at some point in my lifetime. No. I didn't realize now it's like we're going to give a big middle finger to everybody. But we're going to be really cozy with Russia. And then assholes get angry if you bring it up and say, well, I think your boy might be a Russian asset. What? No way. He loves America. Yeah, but look what he does. I don't give a fuck what he says. Look at what he does. As they always say, actions speak louder than words.
Oh,
and that guy, tell me that he is not humming on some nuts right now, some very Russian nuts.
I've never seen a guy with his mouth so full of cock in my life.
Right.
I've seen a few gay porns.
Man, it is problematic what's going on. And I have a funny feeling that now, bringing in the asshole from South Africa that is apparently tanking his own company now. Which, isn't that weird that we had a sitting president pitching a fucking vehicle in front of the White House? pitching
Yeah.
it. Like, yep, here's this. He's a good guy. It's
I just bought one.
It's all the stuff he's doing. And I can't drive, but I'm going to buy one. Like, your followers are stupid. They are very stupid. But all of them fucking to a 99 percentile hate electric vehicles. They're not going to buy one just because your ass said to go buy one.
Yeah, no, that is the weirdest double standard I've seen recently.
It's a bizarre path of twists and fucking turns of nonsense that just keeps pouring out. And about the time, it's like, man, I've never seen shit like this. This is a pretty wacky world to live in. And it ramps up a little worse. That fat bastard finds yet another belt loop to fucking go and run his odd shit through. Befriending Russia, screwing farmers, screwing veterans. This guy is going to go down in history as having fired more veterans than any other fucking president that's ever served. And matter of fact, maybe in combination thereof.
And we're a couple months into this fucking thing.
Where are we at? We're not even 2 months in yet. Yeah, we're still in day 50 something.
God, dude, I can understand the exhaustion that this entire situation is inflicting on people.
Yeah, ordinarily, because I didn't like the last bastard either, by the way. But he wasn't doing kooky shit that I felt like was undermining our very existence, like this current jackass.
Oh, man, old Smokey Joe, he's just old. Forgot shit.
Yeah, real old. Yeah, 3 years older than Trump. Oh, okay, that's great.
Shit.
Yeah.
So he was a senior when he was a freshman.
How about we stop fucking, even allowing somebody to get on a ticket that's over the age of 60? How about that?
Yeah, why do they have to be old?
I don't understand. Like, they've been around longer, so they understand more. No, they don't.
Shit.
No, they don't. Current guy, he was on The Apprentice. He was a reality star, reality show star. That was it. And the only reason I think he even ran for president in 2016 was, and I blame Obama. Obama said, yeah, I'm one thing you'll never be, and that is president of the United States. And it's stuck in his fucking craw. And went, fuck that. I guess I got something to do now.
Challenge accepted, motherfucker.
Other than showing up for another season of The Apprentice, I guess. So.
Oh, dude, he needs to bring that show back now. Can you imagine the president doing a TV show?
It feels like he kind of is, right? With Elon Musk hanging around, sucking his ass.
He certainly is firing a lot of motherfuckers.
And Elon doesn't want him to be alone without Elon around, because he'll probably start putting two and two together and go, wait a minute, this rich motherfucker just wants the power, and he knows he can never be president. So Elon Musk is trying to be the puppet master, but Trump doesn't like anybody with an idea or a concept that they control anything he does.
Yeah, it's what a weird time to be alive.
Yeah, but we said that under the last jackass and the jackass before him. Oh, which was still Trump, by the way. Yeah. And it's bizarre to me. So all these followers, they all run out there and say, oh, TDS, which took me a while. I was like, oh, it's Trump derangement syndrome. To a man, they bring up Obama every chance they get. It's like, well, you got a BBC on the brain then. Yeah,
that's a weird thing. I noticed a local luminary who I shan't name. I was outside. This was yesterday, chatting with the guy that was working at the vape shop. Good dude. We like to talk, have a laugh, talk about weed, and this guy comes down from his business, going to his pickup, and Main Street is just littered with garbage.
Yeah.
Because anytime that wind comes out of a certain direction, all the dirt and trash piles up near that end.
It's a breezeway through the middle of town.
Yeah, it fucking sucks. And Jeff, hey Jeff, if you listen, made a comment about hoping the wind today gets rid of all this trash, gets rid of all the garbage.
Yeah.
And he had made a comment, and I guess it was about a former politician that had that was here in Portales.
Huh.
Like, well, imagine how bad it'd be if this guy was still in office. But dirt.
Huh.
And then went to his pickup and left. It's like, motherfucker, can't you just have a conversation and not bring up politics in any way, shape? Because what does wind and garbage have to do with it? With politics in any way?
Fuck all, I think is the right
Absolutely
answer there, right?
Fucking nothing.
Yeah.
It makes me want to talk to you even less.
Even less.
And that's real easy for me to do. I'm real great at not talking to people.
Well, and that's the other thing too, because I got to physically make myself not talk politics when we're on this shit. But I will say that because the problem I have is that we've got we got to say it was a situation. Yeah, but again, we're doing everything the exact opposite that one would do if you're running around wearing a stupid red hat with letters on it and wearing a suit and tie. Which, by the way, it makes you look like you're special needs, I think, in a way. It's like you shouldn't be dressing that way. You shouldn't dress that way. But if you're doing everything that's the antithesis of what this country stands for, but yet you're running around saying, "Oh, we'll make America great again." Guess what? America never did. We were never allies with Russia. Ever. Even going all the way back to before the fucking Bolshevik revolution. We weren't fans of them then. Certainly weren't fans of them. We didn't recognize Russia as its own independent country, I think, until we kind of had to realize that we had to get millions of buckets of blood of Russians, to keep the Germans distracted during World War II.
and I mean, I guess when the Soviet Union went away, like, even then it was like, we don't like you. We don't hate you, but we got our eye on you, motherfucker.
Yeah. I was like, hey, they finally saw the light and they aren't the Soviet Union anymore. Well, but it was such a weak country, and still is.
Why so weak?
They decided to open it up and let people kind of do what they wanted to do for the first time ever, in that country. And immediately all the criminal warlords and gangs and shit all stepped up and took over and became like a kleptocracy. When you start getting all these assholes that, all these big crime bosses and everything else, well, all you got to do then is wait around for one asshole that was an ex-KGB agent, who's their current president now.
Hey, now.
And he came in, and straightened up the organized crime by basically then dumping all that money in his own pockets and disbanding all the crime syndicates and everything else. And basically trying to put the band back together again by trying to reform the Soviet Union and shit. Well, most of the time we always have a president who's like, no, you ain't pulling that shit on my watch. Sorry. Except now.
Go fuck yourself.
Now, we're there to appease everything the Russians have, and it's in there castigating. Here's the other one I had a fucking problem with, since we're going off on the assholes that are running this country. So Elon Musk, we know how he dresses when he's hanging around because he thinks he looks cool. You look like a dick bag if you look like the bad Nazi on the first Raiders of the Lost Ark movie. With the fucking glasses and the
one who melted.
That creepy
Spoiler
that one. No spoiler. Fuck you. If you hadn't seen that yet, what's wrong? But yeah, that guy. He looks like that guy. Looks as pale and as balmy as that guy. Wears nothing but black. And looks stupid. Looks stupid.
Black is cool.
But he doesn't deck himself out like everybody else in Trump's cabinet. So then they're going and talking to the Ukrainian guy. This has all happened since the last show we had. He shows up and they start getting on his ass about not wearing a fucking coat and tie. But you got Elon Musk standing there like, well fucking where's his? If this is purely just to berate a guy for not dressing appropriately, what the fuck's wrong with this guy?
And that is the dumbest bullshit I've ever heard.
Well, it came down to it. And then you got J.D. Vance, who, man, that guy could suck chrome off of a trailer hitch.
Looks like a Cabbage Patch Kid.
He looks like somebody that he has a constant look on his face like he's trying not to shit himself.
Yeah.
I don't know. And then people will say, well, he's in the service. Like, he's in a fucking news arm of the service. Fuck you. I mean, I get it. I was in the Air Wing and the Marines and things like that. I get it. Like, well, you weren't a grunt. Yeah, so, I don't know how Marine you were. Yeah, but guess what? I wasn't. I wasn't a journalist.
Right.
Journalists, they're not going anywhere dangerous, not your active duty ones.
Right.
The real journalists that are running a risk of getting fucking shot, they're civilians, every one of them.
Yeah. Yeah, it's, goddamn, I don't know. All that made me sleepy.
Well, and then to go back to where we started the whole show with the fucking wind and everything else, aside from knocking out power, which then will knock out your water, and then you got the double whammy going on if you're Brandon, but it also has the effect of exhausting you. I've had multiple opportunities today to try to get a nap. You think I'm fucking napping when this place is rocking and rolling? It felt like I was back on a naval ship again.
Nope, that shit woke me up a little earlier than I would have liked, and been up ever since.
No, and actually, I stayed up like an idiot last night. drinking a new shipment of rye that came in. So,
Well, you had to quality assure that shit.
yeah, I don't think I needed to be robbing myself of fucking sleep though in the process of doing it. But
Well, that's the beauty. The next slumber coming up is going to be tits.
yeah, well, I'm just hoping I can make midnight tonight because I don't know that may be an opportunity that might have to pass, but we'll see how she goes. If I can hit like a second wind, and as I'm drinking more Elijah Craig toasted rye again,
By the way, Mead for Metal podcast brought to you by Elijah Craig Toasted Rye.
seemingly right. In terms of where it falls in rye whiskey, I like it's up there. It's up there on the list. It's probably second or third. It's not Bullet rye. Bullet, and I get it. Somebody might say Bullet. Shit, that shit's like that's kind of just standard grade, call whiskey, at a bar or whatever. I don't care. It could be $5. It could be $500. I like what I like. That happens to be the top of my food chain, which is great because it's only like $30 a bottle. This Elijah Craig is around $40 a bottle. But I also have to give myself lead time because I got to order it out of California because they don't carry it around here.
Yep, and you're definitely not getting just a bottle.
No.
If you're ordering it.
Well, you're silly if you do.
Yeah, like that. You're paying basically $80, $40 for the bottle and $40 to get it there.
Yeah. So if you're doing multiple bottles, then it makes sense. And I do. It comes out to, I don't know, like $43, I want to say. Something like 44. Some area.
Hey, for a high-end rye, though, that's pretty good. For something you got shipped in,
Yeah.
not a bad deal.
Yeah, I don't know. This place I order out of San Diego, I don't know how they get away with it, but they carry it, and it's about $10 a bottle cheaper than anybody on the fucking internet.
Bet motherfuckers in California just aren't a fan of it, so they get a little bit more of a discount.
Man, I don't know, but about the time if you order 4 bottles and pay the shipping, man, you're looking at like $43 a bottle. It ain't bad.
Damn.
Compared to $30 for Bullet. Now, granted, and you would say, well, wait a minute. If Bullet's your favorite, why don't you just drink that shit? And you're not wrong. I will.
You got it. But hey, it's cool to find like something else that's like this is all right. But Bullet's a hard brand to knock off the altar
because it's smooth. It's got a great flavor profile. If you like rye, if you like that spicy kind of a hit like you get off of Irish whiskey or whatever, or even Scotch to a degree, rye is a pretty important component of that because that is that spiciness that kind of hits. That's kind of what makes it. Yeah. But it's not so overwhelmingly spicy that it's a hard drink. It's smooth. The entry is great. Flavor profile is fine. And finishing is fucking better than any. This Elijah Craig comes close. It's not as smooth as Bullet, but it's pretty damn smooth.
It is nice. It is nice. Thank you for that, Jack.
Yeah, that's true. That guy's the one that turned us on to, the witness protection guy.
That's right. Voice of an angel.
But it's a really good rye, and I think it made him happy because he's been trying to find something that he likes that we like. For years now, and
right.
And I think we finally found one. He's like, well, I'm just glad I finally found something you like that I like. I'm like, well, that doesn't happen often. I get it.
Hey, you got this one, bud. You got it. It's good.
But So Elijah Craig toasted rye, and I don't even want to try their straight rye because I have a feeling that it will be considerably under what I kind of like about this right here because it's not going to have that toasted barrel effect. So
right.
Color will be different. Flavor will be different. It actually, for anything else, a toasted rye is going to bring out some more of the sugars because you're going to get almost some caramel flavors coming off a barrel, that's been kind of put the flame to it. It's going to be a little more complex and actually a little smoother. So the straight rye, Elijah Craig, I don't know. I'm never going to have it. So I don't want it, actually.
Well, there's really no reason.
No, there's not.
And as far as like burn goes, warmth, both are pretty similar.
Your first pull is going to be a little
whoa now, that'll get you ready.
But yeah, then once you get a couple of sips in you, then the rest of it goes down pretty easy. So we'll see what happens there. I was going to go to the store today, but the weather today kind of changed my plans. So and a lot of businesses had to close because knocking power out. Well, you can't fucking very well keep a business open with no power unless it's unless you're in like a really ancient building that like nope, we get ambient light enough into this place and it's kind of a cold old cave anyhow.
That's right. We can still get shit done.
Point of sale is usually the problem why most businesses have to shut
Sure.
down though. So
Well, that's the thing with like dispos. If we
oh, that's right, because you guys got to be tracking shit to the state.
that thing basically it has to be tracked as soon as it leaves our store. And don't get freaked out by the word tracked. It's tracking the product, not the person that bought it. Just making sure, like, yep, this person who has a valid ID has purchased this marijuana product, and that marijuana product is no longer in your inventory.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or you get in trouble selling pre-rolls for $2 under the table and pocketing the cash, and then that happened at a dispo here in town.
Oh, no shit.
One near you, if you know what I mean.
Ah, wow. Well, that one is that one's kind of a shitty one. Anyway, I don't like any business that has a clever name because they know what people are going to search for. And if your name is what people are going to search for, then it's like, ha-ha.
Right.
That'd be like a bar that calls itself free beer. Somebody shows, oh, hey, where's the free beer? Like, oh, no, that's just our name.
Oh, hey, you're here. That'll be $8.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the shitty thing, you don't want to try to rip off a dispensary as a worker, man.
No.
If you get caught, and you will get caught, you are going to be in some deep shit, not only with your employer, but with the state.
Yeah, and you'll never work in the industry again.
No, that is, I'm sure there's probably a list somewhere that's like, nope, this motherfucker ain't working at no dispo anymore. But
and if you're in a small enough town, well, that there probably isn't a lot of notes out there. It's probably just knowledge like, oh, yeah, that guy, fuck that guy.
Yeah. I've always said, it's like, why can't motherfuckers just be happy? It's like, dude, you work at a weed store. It's still a job, and some days are harder than others, but at the end of the fucking day, it is my job to be like, oh, you need an eighth of this stank-ass weed? You got it, brother.
Yeah. You all the dealer.
Yeah. God, yeah. Fucking just talking to fucking producers. Really, since this transition, I know more about how shit works, which is really nice.
I don't want to pat myself on the back, but I told you you're going to have a very different experience getting out from under the corporate umbrella and out into kind of the brick and mortar mom and pop and all the other shit.
Yeah.
Because then you're going to be exposed to a lot more of that. Your previous place of employment, you're only going to get the certain people that are approved through that company coming in to bring product. Fuck, I'm sure you probably see 5 to 10 times the number of vendors now.
Yeah, and instead of just having to be like this requesting shit that I know our place sells, I'm talking at my former joint, that was the most we could do. We could ask if they could look into it.
Yeah.
Did they ever? Of course not.
No.
They already had fucking purchases ready for the next 3 months. Now, if I'm like, this actually moved really good, I can go on a website, build a cart of this shit. I have a number I have to keep it under, and then let boss man know, like, hey man, I built this cart for this brand of concentrate. We can sell it for $10 a pop. Might want to check it out, and if you're down with it, pick it up. Let's do it.
Yeah.
And more time than not, that's what we'll do. And it feels goddamn good. I was a little trepidation about being a manager, but once I got over that, I'm like, fuck it, sack up, let's do this shit.
Yeah.
I'm glad I did.
Well, yeah, and honestly, you seem like you're a hell of a lot happier where you're at now compared to where you were a year ago. So,
yeah, I don't listen to 40 Watt Sun near as much.
Yeah, I was gonna say my bass playing's down a little because
That's right.
that's usually, he's like, oh, we're playing 40 Watt Sun. Well, their bass player is lame. I'm gonna whip out the bass. We're gonna play some shit here.
I'm gonna turn up the volume on that shit.
Speaking of music, we don't have LJ this week, unfortunately, because the freight train that was the Eastern New Mexico wind today precluded him from being able to record. So, because his studio, I don't think it's in a garage, but I don't think
I think it is.
Maybe it is.
I think it is.
So, I'd even thought about it like, man, well, if the wind doesn't calm the fuck down, we might have to kick that can down the road. Sure. Either you just say fuck it and we'll do one next week, or have to wait until after it finally calms down. It's the calmest today it's been since 4 a.m. So
yeah, thank fuck for that.
It's only about 20, 25 mile an hour now. So,
but you know what? We still have to keep up with tradition.
We do. What we're gonna do? We have no LJ, but we have a fucking boatload of music news to get out this.
Oh, it's gonna be good. I mean, it's gonna be kind of bummer, but it's still pretty good.
It's gonna be a bummer. But nonetheless, though, it is time for us to go ahead and check in with a couple of I'd call them sponsors, but they're not. They're unwitting sponsors.
Sponsors of our childhood.
Couple of our vintage commercials here for you here on the Mead for Metal podcast as we transition into the second half of the show, which is usually a little more light, a little more jovial. But you don't want to get that indigestion,
And get the fuck out of here.
After 2 hours in traffic, the Caseys will stop for lunch. They'll gulp down chili dogs and fries, but soon, Mom and Dad won't be feeling too well. Whether it's Mom's upset stomach or Dad's heartburn, the one that coats is the only one they need. Pepto-Bismol. As it coats your stomach, it relieves heartburn. Upset stomach even relieves diarrhea. Pepto-Bismol. For most common stomach discomforts, the one that coats is the only one you need.
Discover that great Cutlass feeling along the highways of your mind in Cutlass Supreme Brome. You'll discover remarkable ease, comfort, and elegance. Take command with controls at your fingertips. Feel the solid way Brome smooths out the road. Test drive Cutlass Supreme Brome at your Olds dealers, and you'll know a feeling of classic luxury as you discover that great Cutlass feeling. There's a lot of news in Olds today.
So you might be thinking, all right, wait a minute. These guys started with some off Cold Dark Place earlier. Now they're doing some off of Crack the Sky. Well, what's going on?
Why are they listening to so much Mastodon?
And if you've been out of the loop, well, I got some bad news for you. If you've been absent for about, say, a week now, because it was 1 week ago today, on a non-podcast day, thankfully, because I don't know, it'd probably been nothing but just sorrow.
Dude, yeah, man. Left field shit. Brent Hinds saying farewell to Mastodon.
Yeah, mutually, he's good with it and gone. Mastodon's good with it. That's fine. They got Uncle Ben filling in right now. That's not going to be a permanent. There's no way they're going to grab a YouTuber to fill in, to take over for Brent Hinds.
They needed a guy that already knew the songs and was a huge Mastodon fan. Just come out and basically live a dream for a little bit.
Yeah, well, and because of the timing of it, it all happened just before Tool in the Sand went on last week in the Dominican Republic, which that's kind of a story in and of itself because apparently Tool made a lot of their really wealthy fans really, really angry.
Ugh.
I don't know, where do you want to start? Because this is like an onion. It's got some layers going on here.
Well, let's start with Brent Hinds, and that will naturally lead into the Tool in the Sand thing. But yeah, it's Mastodon was one of those bands I feel like these fuckers are going to be together forever.
Yeah.
I feel like you make it past a certain point and all of your I'm assuming all four basically founding members. There might have been a different start to Mastodon than I think Troy Sanders might have came in.
I think, one of them came along a little bit later, but nothing crazy. I mean, you start talking about a band been around a quarter of a century, and if you came along a year and a half late, well, fucking whatever.
Yeah, but man, it's when we talk about Mastodon, one of the things we always talk about is how they all work together. They all brought Bill Kelleher, great guitar player. But you have three very different singers that when they all do their shit together is fucking incredible.
Yeah, and one of those is Brand Daler, the goddamn drummer. I mean, so...
Might be I'm not saying Brent Hinds is the best singer in Mastodon, but Brand Daler's fucking gotten so much better as the years have gone by. He's amazing.
Right.
Don Henley, go fuck himself.
Troy
Phil
Saunders, right?
Troy Sanders, bass player.
Legitimately, I think he is probably now, and he has been. I think he is I don't like to use the word front man. We got three fucking singers, but I think he's the go-to power lyric guy. Brent Hinds brought almost 6 softness. No, that's not accurate though. He brought the thing that wasn't the hard edge,
and a higher register too.
Yeah. I think his guitar playing outshines anything he'd do vocally. But the fact of the matter is, if you got two other cats and you're laying down some big ass harmonies and stuff, Emperor's Sand was not my bag, but I recognize it for what it was.
Sure.
And it was a masterfully put together album that really exposed all of the great things about that band and really very few of the bad things.
Right. Yep. Which that was kind of the vibe that I got as Mastodon continued to progress. And then boom.
Well, now about a year and a half ago, I guess Brent Hinds did an interview with somebody. I don't know if it's a musician's friend or something. I don't know. But he had basically said that he was tired of playing metal. That was not exactly a thing that he was wanting to pursue going forward necessarily. Is that he wanted to look into utilizing his talents in some other forms and other genres. And he had even said, "I'm not the big metal guy. That's Bran and Bill. Those are the two guys. They love metal. That's what they're about." And that's what they bring to the table. Brent Hinds had actually said, to the point where it became kind of almost like a joke, because he'd said, I'd rather do country and just to do something different. And then everybody's like, well, Brent Hinds wants to be a country star. Yeah, it must be that cold, dark place, and that's the kind of country he's talking about. If that's the kind of country he's talking about, sign me up.
I'm in.
But realistically, yeah, when you're a guy with a lot of multiple talents, I understand that if you get kind of like, man, we're doing the same shit over and over and over again. I like Mastodon. I think we're safe to say Brandon loves Mastodon.
I'm a big fan.
I like Mastodon, but I absolutely understand where Brent Hinds is coming from. It's like, this shit, I didn't sign up for doing this my entire life.
Sure. Yeah, and that's completely fair. But it still makes you wonder.
Well, but he's also been doing some other shit. He did
while he was in Mastodon.
He's been in Fiend Without a Face since 2001.
And that was a band I did not know about.
Yeah, he started that one with Brand Daler. So then when a lot of people are like, oh, you had a big falling out with Brand, I don't think so. I actually think that it was a pretty. I think that it was I think it's something that those guys have been working through for a while. And there's a reason for me to think that. And first of all, it's that, they seem to have parted amicably. They'd brought in Ben, what's his face? Yeah, Uncle Ben is the only thing I really know him by, to come in and fill in for Brent Hinds. And he comes in and he knows all the parts, has the vocals down, all that shit. Like, well, this is a guy that's like, oh, yeah, this thing fell in my lap. Of course I'm gonna go do that. I'm gonna do this as best I can, and it sounded good enough to where he didn't strap up. Go, here it is. Let me just lay down something that's similar. No, he nailed it, which means he's been putting that shit together. Been working on this for at least a little while.
Yeah, I don't know how long he's had that YouTube channel for. I didn't know who the fuck he was till I read his name in that story.
Yeah, that's he's goddamn 3-4 years now. I want to say, I don't know, probably longer. It's not. I don't seek out internet guitarists. No. I don't. But.
I mean, there's that one dude, but even the guy that got pinged with a beer bottle.
Oh yeah,
Tyler.
But see,
been a while.
He's got a channel, Music Is Win. I stopped following it because I don't need to hear a big Steve Vai stroke fest every time that guy drops content. I don't need to, because he used to fucking play for, I guess, or learned under Steve Vai. I don't. Oh. It's fine. Do you? But if that's all you're doing, I'm not on board. So
our musical taste is a little bit more diverse.
Well, and on top of that, and he's a huge PRS guy, and he's kind of the antithesis of what I look for in an internet guitar player, I guess.
Do you think him getting cracked in the skull with a beer bottle from a passing vehicle made him more interesting for
Tyler? I can't. I feel bad because I can't remember Tyler's last name.
Childers.
I don't know. It wasn't Childers. Probably. I mean, how could it not? He had a pretty cool gnarly scar, and they got some plastic surgery done. So now you never know what even happened. I would have left the scar,
dude. Oh fuck yeah, dude. That's a win.
But then again, he's already married, so it's not like he needs to do it for the pussy. So
He's doing it for the cameras.
But and during that phase, he was also working on. I think he'd already done all the studio work on putting out his album.
Right. Which was pretty good from what I remember. But it was what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Just him riffing.
Just like, trying to be really fast and complex and shred. Okay, fine. But do know that the stuff that impresses me is not the speed, and it's not the, oh, look how fast this guy is shredding up and down the neck and all this. It's not. It's a fucking very heavy and very layered doom metal guitar that interplays really, really well with the bass and everything else in that, and where the mix, everything is equally there.
Right. I'm right there with you, yeah.
But and if that's not your cup of tea, that's cool, because you know what? We don't fucking have to agree on everything. We don't have to come to the okay, so we can all agree that this guy's a pretty good guitar player, right? Yeah, sure, whatever. But I'm not going to listen. So, and like I said, I'd unsubscribe from his channel. It's like, this is going in a direction I don't need. I don't require.
You can recognize talent and not be a fan.
Yeah. So with all of that, yeah, man, I think Mastodon's going to go on and they're going to do fine. I think Brent Hinds is going to go on and do his thing, and I think he's going to be fine. I think everybody's going to be just fine.
I'm less worried about Mastodon. I don't know when to say I'm worried about Brent Hinds, but after that video you'd put on yesterday of that live show he did.
Well, now that was from a long time ago,
that was
right?
5 months ago.
Okay. Oh, the other one, the second one. Okay.
Yeah, the one where it was like, this motherfucker is fucked up.
Well, he was a little drunk, I mean, can't hold it against somebody for having a couple of cocktails, right?
And then, of course, when the song finally goes, the dude just shreds.
Yeah.
So I can
want him to do.
I can appreciate that. I'm way better at video game minigames drunk than I am sober.
We found that out recently. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it's a bummer, but, best case, now we still get kick-ass Mastodon music with whoever they do decide to make their fourth, and Brent Hinds goes and does amazing things.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like Tool probably would have set up some things a little bit differently for their big excursion event if they'd have known like one of the founding members of Mastodon was not going to be at their
because that was like
3-day show.
That was a co-main, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'm assuming Mastodon they just played like one day. I think.
I don't know. I
haven't delved too much into it.
I think out of a 3-day festival, quote unquote festival, because again, it's an excursion trip. If you had really deep pockets and you wanted to go to the Dominican Republic for kind of a thing that it's where everything is there at that resort, including the fucking shows, and 3 nights of it, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Tool played Friday, Saturday. I think that the other acts had 2 nights, whether it be Thursday, Friday, or Thursday, Saturday. I don't know.
Yeah.
But that turned out being a bit of a disaster from what I understand, because Tool fans wanted 2 very distinctly different shows. And looking at the playlist, I wouldn't have been angry, but then again, people that don't like Fear Inoculum need to stop being Tool fans.
Need to stop going to Tool shows.
Because that's the most recent album, and that's the one they're going to do. I'm sorry they're not going to do Undertow or most of anything off of Anima.
I'm going to do Opie in its entirety.
They're not. Fucking Maynard is like 60. I mean,
he's about to be 61.
Well, yeah, actually, yeah, maybe
got a birthday coming up.
I don't understand the weird, like, this band, I loved them then and now they can never be different. I don't get it. I don't understand it. And the expectation, all it's going to do is make you bitter and angry, and the band, well, they'll just do what they do because they don't care about you, because you're as insignificant as a tick on a fucking horse's ass.
I look at it from 2 perspectives. The first perspective is, whenever they were promoting the show, it did say 2 unique sets.
And they were. If you're taking because then we got to get into, all right, what's the fucking definition of unique? They were unique. One show was not the same as the other. Did it have some of the same songs on it? Yeah. But it was unique to the other show, because the playlist, the set list was different.
It was.
Not entirely. But if hearing Numa back-to-back nights makes you angry, Maybe go back to your legal profession or your doctor or whatever you're doing, because it's the people with those deep fucking pockets, and those are usually the ones that are going to bitch anyway.
And I would like to, and the other side of that coin is, I would not go to something like that just for one band. No,
you can't.
You better have, for something like that, 80% of those bands better be kick-ass. Man, they kind of were.
I wrestled with it when the announcement was made last fall. I thought, holy shit, hold on. So we got Tool and Mastodon and some other acts in there, by the way.
Wheel, Eagles of Death Metal.
Wheel was I thought, I don't know that I'm going to get a chance to see those guys, because that's a band out of Finland that, honestly, man, they could pull off an extended North American tour, I think, without any issue. And I think being one of those openers for Tool in the Sand, I think will give them that.
Oh yeah, that's probably their biggest platform they've had as a band, I bet.
I think so. There were a lot of things I wanted to go for. Now, knowing that Mastodon without Brent Hinds, I'm so glad I didn't.
Which I would still been like,
$5,000.
Man, kick ass, see Mastodon, but I'm a big fan of Brent Hinds as well.
Because the show itself is going to be like, what, $1,500? But then you got to get yourself down there, and then you've got to pay for it. It was going to be $5,000.
Sure. And I was at a point, I was like, I could do this if I wanted to. But even after opening the door to the possibility, I was like, no, you fucking douchebag. Don't go do that. You know how many other concerts you could go do with the money you're going to spend to go see this one?
Right.
And I don't give a fuck about beaches.
Yeah.
I'm not a beach guy.
No.
I don't have the complexion
You're a
for
pallid
it.
ginger.
Yeah. I don't want to be outdoors. Fuck that shit. Goddamn, I went to Vegas in July, and I did not want to be outside.
Yeah, that's...
or anytime I'm in Vegas, I don't want to be outside.
Dominican still in the month of March. I don't know. Probably is not unreasonable, but again, it's a beach getaway. There were too many things like, well, hold on, let me look at the shit that I'm not going to enjoy about this at all. Or as I like to call it, the categories I would write in NA for not applicable.
The no repeat weekend that Metallica's been doing for their world tour.
Okay.
For what it would cost, I can't remember if it was for one or both nights of that world tour. For about $5,000, you are getting like the ultimate Metallica experience for the band you love. You had your own like platform that you and 6 of your pals could just sit on with dedicated drink service and jam Metallica without being in the ruckus and just fucking really living it up. And that's between 6 people.
Yeah.
Splitting $5,000.
Oh, wow. That ain't bad.
Yeah. My problem is I don't know enough people to necessitate that.
I got about half that, right?
Yeah. But even then, like, we can still make this happen. We'd have a lot of room. But that just, motherfuckers went there wanting to see Tool in a rare instance, and they feel like they got burned. And they're idiots.
Well, the more affluent you are, the higher your bar of expectation is. So I get it. If you were, I want to go and I want to get all this. I don't realistically know what people thought they were getting. Okay, 2 unique shows. I get it, and I understand what unique might mean in one turn of phrase, and I understand what it might mean in another. But it's like, did you think you were getting like a VIP? It's like, I'm going to hang out with Maynard and Adam Jones. No. So you're not.
When I first heard about it, I'll be honest, my initial impression was like, cool. So they'll do one set of songs on one day, and then the next set will be completely different.
And it wasn't, but that's because, again, they're loading in their playlist with shit from Fear Inoculum. And again, if you liked nothing Tool has done since the turn of the millennium, stop going to shows.
Yeah, move the fuck on,
because they're not going to play the shit you want to hear anyway.
Yeah, and everybody that's saying they're never going to go see Tool again have said, like, yeah, I've seen them like 27 times. This is it for me.
Oh, okay.
Like, well, fucking thanks for the nut, bro.
Time to bow out then and go fuck yourself or whatever you do in
guess
life.
What? They will go see Tool again.
Of course. If it's more than a handful of times, yeah, okay. Yeah, they come to your town or somewhere reasonably not a long travel. Yeah, okay. I believe you. I'm certain you will never go to another Tool show. You bet. Once you dry them tears,
Yeah. I mean, when we went and saw Tool for the second time, set list was fairly similar to the San Antonio show.
They're still touring on Fear Inoculum.
I did not have a problem with that.
No.
And I, even if that wasn't the case, like, well, Fear Inoculum's been out for almost 7 years. So I'm fine with that. I knew it was like, man, I know I'm hearing at least half of Fear Inoculum when I go there. I love Fear Inoculum.
Yeah. That was 6 years ago. It was September of 2019. But,
oh, goddamn,
and then we saw him in October of 2019.
That's right.
So,
I don't know why I always have it like the album came out and then like a year later the tour started.
No, we caught the tour right, within about a month and a week or so of that album dropping.
Yeah,
so.
that album's very special.
But I don't get this weird things like, well, why don't they do this? Because they're fucking old men now. So I mean, I guess if they were faced with, hey, you either do this shit that was off of like you had said, back if you're talking about their really, really old shit, Opiate or whatever.
Yeah,
Maynard's not going to do any of that. None of because this is a very different band. They have evolved much like you have. Are you still cranking back the amount of beer you used to when you were in college or fucking whatever the case might be? Are you still doing everything you did in your fucking 20s? You're not.
No.
I'm here to fucking assure you you're not. And because humans age. And I'm sorry if your memories and things you were so fond of are now blurred because that band decided to keep on touring and making new music and evolving into who they are, into an even better band. I'm sorry that raw edge is not there anymore after 40 years. I'm sorry.
Right. Yeah, like Devin Townsend's a great example for me. I really dug Devin Townsend Project shit. I was a big fan. Because that was a band I found. One, I knew about it, but I was like, man, it's pussy shit. Strapping young lads, what I want to hear. And then finally heard some of his soul shit. I was like, God damn, this is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
And I was also not in a really great mental spot. So it kind of pulled me out of some shit. And I was like, man, I'm with y'all till the bitter end, which came about 5 years later when Devin Townsend's like, I'm going in a different direction, and these motherfuckers can't come with me. And at that point, I was like, oh, this has gotten weird now. Devin Townsend in his weird phase. Not a fan. But you just let the shit go.
You gotta have a healthy relationship with the bands that you're a fan of. And I think I picked up on that shit pretty young. Iron Maiden put out Power Slave, and I was really happy about that because I'd liked Peace of Mind, Number of the Beast, all the way back to Killers. I liked everything Iron Maiden was about. Power Slave album came out, immediately became my favorite album ever. Of course, I was 15 or something like that. But and then caught their tour in El Paso, at the El Paso County Coliseum. It was a good show. Matter of fact, it was a great show. But at that point in time, I thought, I'm gonna play Power Slave until the stylus on my turntable just gives up the ghost, and then I think I might be good with Iron Maiden. And I was, because Somewhere in Time came out after that. There's one track on Somewhere in Time, and I play every year around, here about a month from now. That's the only time of year I play it. And that's Wasted Years.
Nice.
Everything from Somewhere in Time and later, I don't care. I'll give it a listen, because I don't hate Iron Maiden.
Sure.
It's fine. And I can listen and I go, oh, wow, yeah, okay, that's cool. They kind of evolved into this, but that's cool because I have fond memories of Power Slave, and I don't get angry that the band changed. Because
they're also old as fuck.
Everybody gets old. Everybody dies. Everybody, and things evolve. And I mean, realistically, that's what it comes down to. I look at the same thing with, I look at it differently with Alice in Chains. I was not an Alice in Chains fan when Lane Staley was alive. I was not. I became an Alice in Chains fan because of Jerry Cantrell, but more importantly, because of William Duvall.
Right. And that's a great fucking thing. You know what I mean?
But man, there are people out there that they have got to throw their rage. They got to throw it around like monkeys tossing shit, that they have to let everybody know, I'm not pleased with this. Now go fuck yourself. You know what? Why are you even commenting? What the band's going to say? Like, oh, Oh, we have to go back to the shit we were doing 30 years ago. I'm sorry, my bad. We were trying to be musicians, but clearly we just have to be mannequins with a fucking soundtrack.
It's like telling Dave Mustaine that Metallica sucks. Like you're doing him a favor.
Right. Yeah. Rush is a great example for me. I grew up because my brothers were Rush fans. That means I was a Rush fan. And I liked Rush right up until Hold Your Fire came out, which was admittedly not a great album, even by their own admission and by the admission of Rush fans and everything else. But that's okay, because that kind of closed out my teen years before I went in the Marines, and that was okay. And I never did get into Presto or Roll the Bones. Now, I've listened to them. I'm very familiar with them. A track list memorized start to finish? No, because my taste had already changed.
You had moved on, right?
But I got to say that, man, if you stayed a fan all the way through R40, fucking mwah, congrats to you. And I'm glad you have a thing that you enjoy in life. But this bullshit that you expect motherfuckers to never, ever change is just absolutely maybe the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah. And, you know, and also to that point, I feel like the fans of Lane Staley also make people sour on that era.
I think that's fair because, man, when you want to start spouting how great the Lane was and you don't like the new guy who's been basically cutting fucking records with Jerry since Black Gives Way to Blue, actually even further back than that, Degradation Trip.
Degradation Trip, he did that tour with him.
You know, and first of all, it doesn't look good because your favorite very, very pale white guy, because heroin will do that to you, and you're angry that a black guy is now in his place. That's not a great look.
If that's the fucking argument, they can go fuck themselves.
It comes
right
up.
In their asshole.
It comes up. I don't like the black guy. What? What the fuck year is this? You know? And then you look and see where they're from, like, oh, he's from North Georgia or something, you know, whatever. Okay. But then others, though, that they just diminish all of the work that William has done in a fucking tight spot for the last decade and a half, 2 decades. Well, go fuck yourself.
Absolutely agree.
I mean, what is wrong with him? He sings like Lane, but he plays a fucking guitar that Lane couldn't do. Goddamn, he's got his own signature Framus.
Yeah,
I mean,
this dude is a fucking T to B musician.
And I guess the other thing, and I will absolutely come clean on it. If you're a guitar player and you've got multiple things you do and you do them well, you garner my respect immediately.
Damn right.
If you're just known for being a soulful guy that did a lot of heroin, that probably was on an MTV Unplugged and that was probably watched by more people than any other Unplugged, cool. Celebrate your fan. Well, yeah, Nirvana might be, but celebrate your fandom. Be happy with what you had, but stop talking shit about what that band's doing now. If you're not on board with where that band is now, fucking get off of the next bus stop. You don't have to continue on for the ride. You don't have to be and Justice for All and everything after that's been terrible. No, it has not. When you're Metallica fans might be the worst. They might be the absolute worst shitheels on planet Earth when it comes to, like, I don't like anything they've done since the late 80s. Why are you still here?
Like, you have your fans that are gatekeepers to the genres, and then you have your fans that are fucking gatekeepers to the band itself. And it's stupid. It is it's so dumb.
Where do you put And Justice? Which I recognize, And Justice got to be high on everybody's list, up within the top 5. I would think.
If I'm putting on a Metallica album to listen to the whole fucking thing, Justice is up there. I would say it fluctuates, but it's more times than not my top 3.
It sits just outside the top 5 for me, but that's because I'm not an old school Metallica fan.
No, and you know what? That's okay.
It's okay, too. It's fine. It is the weirdest thing that we're living in this society where fans have this thing and they clamor for that they know better than the band does. Like, well, then why are you following this band? And it comes back to it, and here's a big sweeping circle that comes around, and that is Tool. If you're a Tool fan and you drop $5,000 and you're angry because you didn't get 2 distinctly different sets back-to-back nights, I don't know what to tell you. Stop going to Tool. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, stop. It's real easy to not listen. It's so
easy. And I don't think that well, who fucking knows? But I don't think that it was made up of a whole bunch of goddamn fans that are like, man, I was going to pay my child support and my rent, but fuck that. Tool's playing the Dominican. I'm on my way.
I got to get me that there passport.
It was made up of fucking of what Harley Davidson now hates that their customer base is. It was made up of a bunch of old people with a lot of money. And it's hard to be cool if you're old and you got a lot of money. Matter of fact, I would say it's impossible to be fucking cool.
It is hard. The more money you got, the harder it is to be cool. That's fair.
Man.
Oh, man.
How are we on time, man?
Right at the hour.
Okay, well, let's wrap it up. I got it. And again, if I'm pissing people off with my opinions on the political machinations of where we're at now, yeah, sorry, not sorry.
Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, goddamn, we're not doing this for. That's the other one. I love that one. Be like, well, I'm probably not going to. We had somebody threaten that. It's like, well, if you guys aren't going to be get cameras and be visual and everything else, which by the way, I looked into that.
Yeah,
$3,000 is what it's going to take for us to even think of starting some shit like that. We're good. We're not doing this to be on camera anyway. We've always maintained we do this shit for us. So if you throw like a weird threat, like, yeah, well, I'm not going to listen if you guys don't have, if it's nothing I can watch.
Well, then give me some fucking money, and we'll get it done.
Yeah, go get cameras and
join the channel. Become a member today.
Drop $3,000. Send us along $3,000, and I'll tell you what, you can watch us all you want.
I need to do that. I need to make it where you can join our channel, like
everybody else is doing,
like $1 a month, and I'll send you pictures of my beard.
Yeah,
every
I'll
week.
send you pictures where it's like, is that pubic hair or is that the back of his head? I don't know what I'm looking at.
Oh my God, it's his asshole. The old Mike Honcho week.
As Borat calls it, how's my back pussy looking?
This has been a good one. With the shittiness of the day,
yeah,
I feel it's starting to wash away.
Yeah,
hey, there you go.
I feel like when it comes down to the nut cutting, if I'm angry about the weather, then I will absolutely attack fan bases just to get a little back.
Yeah, no, it makes you feel better, right?
Yeah. Well,
let's go listen to Mastodon and get drunk.
Yeah, I'm a little drunk and a little sad and angry. But that's what we do best.
And then usually the happiness is the last aspect of it.
Happiness is there. Birthday of someone I loved once upon a time that passed away like 6 years ago. Today is kind of a hard day in that respect as well. So, Brent Hinds and Tool fans being angry and Connie's passing a while back and today being her birthday. It's been a day. And then to top it all off with wins in the mid-70s. Go fuck yourself.
Got to earn those days of mourning, brother.